I don't remember what video I watched earlier, but someone said that a girl couldn't be an INTJ just because she's attractive.
What the does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
Are all INTJs supposed to be ugly? I know personally, I'm not everyone's cup of joe, but I'm sure there are very mighty fine INTJs out there, someone like Ashley Olsen. Ashley, if you're watching this video, I've been your stan since two of a kind. Hit me up, girl. There's a high probability that I could have remembered it incorrectly and the critique was made more towards her makeup or the clothing that she was wearing. But even in that case, hello, we have extroverted thinking so we understand the benefit of dressing professional. Hello, we have introverted feelings so we still like to dress how we feel and sometimes we like to look pretty. Hello, we have extroverted sensing so we're still aware how appearance can affect how others perceive us. And alas, hello to you watching this video. I hope your day's going well and that it's filled with sunshine and rainbows. The purpose of this video is to address 5 misconceptions or dumb stereotypes of INTJs. Because when I hear someone utter one of these stereotypes, I'm confident of one of 2 things. The first is that this person probably isn't close to an INTJ and only know us by theory, what this person have read or heard online. Second, that they probably mistype people as INTJs all the time, maybe even themselves, because of how narrow their understanding of us are, therefore further reinforcing their limited understanding of an INTJ. I do want to emphasize that there are outliers to the typical INTJ, but I already addressed most of them in my previous video that I'll post below. I also want to remind the audience that your MBTI type helps provide clarity on the method and how your mind sorts and prioritizes information or emotions, and that is not a reliable predictor of a person's action. Because if that was the case, then all human issues would have been solved already. Sadly, humans are a bit more complex than that. Or we'd just be another NPC in the simulation that we call life. The 5 misconceptions of the INTJs are the following. Number 1, you can't be an INTJ if you're social. Number 2, you can't be an INTJ if you're unsure of your plans. Number 3, you can't be an INTJ if you like surprises. Number 4, you can't be an INTJ if you care about strangers. Lastly, number 5, you can't be an INTJ if you enjoy engaging with the world. And I'll start this video off with a bonus misconception, one that I believe is so dumb that I refuse to give it its own lengthy category. The stereotype that INTJs only wear black. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't only wear black. Because if we only wore black, we'd stand out because people might think we're emo, punk, goth, and we'll get so much unwanted attention. But a majority of our wardrobe can be the color black if it looks good on us and for its functionality. Black clothes goes with everything, such as a classic black hoodie, classic black Air Forces, or a little black dress that I think all ladies look good in. The color clothing you wear is not an indicator of your MBTI type, period. INTJs, wear whatever you want, whenever you want. Be that shiny unicorn you knew you were always destined to be. All right, with that said, let's begin. Misconception number 1. You can't be an INTJ if you're social. You know, I really don't understand how people can really believe this stereotype because it contradicts our usage of our parent cognitive function, mama extroverted thinking. If an INTJ cares so much about optimization, even in relationships, how can an INTJ truly be optimized if we don't know how to socialize? It is inefficient for an INTJ not to know how to socialize. And I'm going to repeat that again for all the any users that probably is doing something else right now while this video is playing in the background. I want everyone to understand this. It is very inefficient for an INTJ not to know how to socialize. The misconception comes from a few things. The primary reason is that it usually takes a while for an INTJ to truly feel comfortable engaging with people, and this skill set is usually mastered during adulthood. Younger INTJs who haven't learned the importance of being cooperative might disregard social interaction or deem them as being unimportant. Even adult INTJs may still have the same mentality if they never learned its importance or are too hard-headed to put in the effort. Trust me when I say it takes a lot of effort for an INTJ to master being social. I've been there. If you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, you may remember older videos that I have where I mentioned a few struggles as a younger INTJ trying to be social. Younger INTJs, put the effort in as early as possible. It's a skill set that will hinder life progression, whether it's social, in relationships, or work-related. I've personally been excluded from groups that I wanted to be a part of. I've been the biggest red flag in my previous relationships, and I've been passed over for promotion all because I didn't learn how to socialize in those scenarios. I want y'all to live a better life than I did. Learn from my mistakes. The second factor for this misconception is the misunderstanding of an INTJ's alone time. Yes, you can be the most social INTJ out there like Gatsby, but still require alone time. And as with all introverts, it's not a request but a requirement. However, wanting to be alone is not synonymous with not having the ability to be social. It just means that we have limited social interactions or limited to a certain time frame. But mama extrovert thinking will make the INTJ endure any social interaction if we believe that it'll get us to where we want to be. Is being social necessary? If the answer is yes, then we gotta do what we gotta do, baby. If I have to host a party to get to my NI goal faster, then I'll do it. Because the faster I get there, the longer I get to relax. I just want to be productive as soon as possible so that I could be as lazy as long as possible. Lastly, it also doesn't mean an INTJ won't clam up in a room full of strangers. INTJs might end up being more quiet than usual depending on how comfortable we are, how much energy we have, or the topics being discussed. But that doesn't mean that we can't fake a smile, laugh at a few dumb jokes, or lead the conversation. We'll FE if we have to. It's not preferred, but we'll do it. Being an INTJ is not synonymous with being antisocial, period. Number 2, you can't be an INTJ if you're unsure of your plan. There was a show that I used to watch in the 90s about 2 lab rats called Pinky and the Brain. You might be as shocked as I was when I found out that Pinky was the insane taller one and Brain was the one with a huge head, probably a huge brain. I'm not saying that Brain is an INTJ, but I believe that he's one of the best examples out there of what people believe NI or Papa Introverted Intuition to be. Every episode, Brain comes up with a plan to take over the world where he's extremely positive that the next plan will work, and it always fails. An INTJ does have a long-term goal that we're usually working towards, but we could be just as unsure whether the plan will work out because we're also aware of all the ways that the plans can fail. We're not going to tell people that we don't trust how unsure we are of the plan because most of the time, people won't understand no matter how much effort we try in explaining. And most people tend to err towards caution and will think that we're crazy if we put an effort towards an unlikely possibility. But to an INTJ, how will we know for sure it won't work unless we try? INTJs need to collect SE data. The more we collect, the more sure we are. But NI goals aren't stagnant. It's also fluid. So yes, we can have an overarching goal of taking over the world. That doesn't mean we're going to be extremely confident on the plan. That's why INTJs have backup plans, backup to the backup plans, and backup to the backup to the backup plans. I believe this stereotype is a result of people not understanding how NI works. They believe that introverted intuition only thinks about a few likely answers and can't see the rest of the garden full of roses. In actuality, we see the entire garden, but only a few roses are worth our attention. The primary difference between introverted intuition and extroverted intuition is that NI only believe a few flowers are worth picking, whereas any users might think all the flowers are just as fair. Number 3, INTJs don't like surprises. In order for this section to make sense, we have to define and categorize the different type of surprises. Because for an NI Dom, context always matters. There are pure surprises where random shit happens and nobody's prepared. There are scheduled surprises where the INTJ sets up a chunk of time within our week or our day where we don't plan anything and we'll just go with the flow. And then there are planned surprises where everyone besides the INTJ is involved with the planning. Pure surprises can be very annoying or it can be the best time of our lives because it's purely random. INTJs enjoy planning, but we also enjoy overcoming unforeseen obstacles or novelty experiences. What's a bigger boost to our ego than to know that we're just as capable or efficient during a random event? What's cooler during an adventure to experience something that will probably never ever happen again? In regards to planned surprises, I remember having a conversation with my ENTJ friend and we both said the exact same thing. We block off time in our schedule where we don't make any plans for spontaneity to happen. Because if we don't plan for free time of not planning, then there will be no spontaneity in our life. And all of our life will feel like we're an NPC living however the user wants us to live. That's boring as hell. The last type of surprise is the worst. It's when the INTJ's feelings aren't taken consideration and people make a leap of faith thinking that they understand us. It's when everyone is in on the surprise except the INTJ. It's when the INTJ rides with a friend or a group of friends to a party expecting only to be there for 3 hours, but end up stuck there for 10 hours because all their friends changed their mind and wanted to stay longer. It's when an INTJ gets a marriage proposal in front of strangers because you think it's perfect because it's Disneyland and people propose there all the time, leading to the INTJ getting unwanted attention and embarrassment having to deal with our emotions in front of people. I'm not saying that all surprises in this category are negative. I'm saying you really have to know the INTJ for these surprises to be positive. If the INTJ expressed that they didn't have any plans after the party, nothing to do the next day, and that they're just bored, then yeah, you might be able to stay a little longer and they won't get upset. If the INTJ said that they always wanted to get proposed to at Disneyland, then that's the perfect surprise for them. The point of this section is not to discourage surprising the INTJ. INTJs do like being surprised because it does feel good when people come together for the common purpose of making us happy, making the INTJ happy. There are just a few more things to consider, as with surprising any person of any other type. The INTJ does enjoy feeling special and will appreciate the effort if it's a positive experience. Number 4, you can't be an INTJ if you care about strangers. Are all INTJs supposed to be psychopaths? Of course we care about our fellow humans. What we don't care about are the opinion of strangers when it comes down to our personal life or plans. Oh, you helped a stranger change their flat tire? You can't be an INTJ. Oh, you helped an elderly lady walk across the street? You can't be an INTJ. Oh, you cared about not hurting someone's feeling? You can't be an INTJ. You know what doing all those things without reward is called, ladies and gentlemen? It's called kindness. It's called being a decent human being. Sure, we might not be the best at empathizing with strangers or give two shits about what they think about our plans, but that doesn't mean we want any harm to come to them physically or emotionally. And if it's within our means to help a stranger out, why not? Or if we can avoid being the reason why someone has a bad day, why wouldn't we take that path? Yes, there are INTJs who, for one reason or another, really don't care, but the same can be said about an unhealthy person from each of the 16 personality types. So is that really an INTJ quality, or is it just a trait of an unhealthy person? And here's a hint. It's not an INTJ trait for us not to care about strangers. Number 5, you can't be an INTJ if you enjoy engaging with the world. Engaging with the world is difficult, but that doesn't mean it's not enjoyable. The difficulty derives from two primary issues. The first issue is something that I believe everyone knows about INTJ. It's our low energy level. The second issue is our annoyance with routine and our need for novelty experience. Let's quickly address the former. As with all introverts, INTJs have a relatively low energy level when it comes down to being social. But what most people who aren't familiar with cognitive functions don't realize about INTJs, and this works for INFJs as well, is that we have just as low energy level when it comes down to engaging with the sensory world, because we have baby extroverted sensing in our 4th slot. We lose just as much energy engaging with the outside world than we do engaging with people. So for an INTJ, we have to balance our energy or would be irritated when we're out of it. Sometimes it's not that we don't want to do something, we're just tired. And other times we're conserving our energy for something else. This is one of the primary reasons why time is the most valuable resource for an INTJ. It's because it helps us figure out how and when to conserve or use our energy. The second reason is because INTJs don't enjoy routine, which makes sense if you start looking at things from a cognitive function. And I can't help but see other possibilities or other things that we could be doing, and extroverted thinking can't help but want to continue improving things. Routine is boring if there's no improvement, such as learning a new skill set or practicing and getting better at an old skill set. It feels like we're wasting time and energy. That's why novelty experience is such a big deal for INTJs, because we're either going to learn something new, feel something new, or experience something new. New information collected for an INTJ allows the INTJ to grow as a person, because that information can be used to further optimize things. It could be something life-changing, like realizing how fortunate you are being raised in the States as opposed to your parents being raised in a different country. Or it could be something as simple as realizing how comfortable a memory foam pillow is because it's going to improve the comfort when you're resting. And then there's the sensory and memory part of novelty experience. Being a dominant NI user makes it easy not to feel human. I'm not going to go too in-depth on that topic, but I'll link a video below that I made if you're interested in watching and learning about it. INTJs feel the most alive when we're able to do something new because it allows baby extrovert sensing to come out to play and it adds to our limited SI memory bank. It deals with every single cognitive function that we care about. So to say that an INTJ don't enjoy engaging with the world is incorrect. It's true that it's difficult for us for many reasons, but being part of the world and experiencing brand new experience is part of being a healthy human. So we do like going out. And that's all for this video, folks. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I don't really have much more to say. Those were the 5 top stereotypes that really annoyed me the most. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.